Hello, this is Soundout here, and welcome back to another Kamen Rider review. Today we take a look at the long-anticipated, long-awaited SH Figuarts Shinkocchou Seihou Kamen Rider Kiva form. This is the last of the Heisei main riders to be made, and sadly it's not the last of the Heisei riders I was missing. I still am missing quite a few, but I really wanted to get Kiva. This is one of the rider suit designs where I don't have a super big connection to the show, as I've not finished it. I've only ever watched about half of it before, but I really love Kiva's suit design heavily. Like, this is one of my favorite rider suits of all time, and I've been waiting for an SH Figuarts release of him for a long time. Pretty much, SH Figuarts started the same year that Kiva aired, so the fact that he didn't get a Figuart back then was kind of odd, and it even went to the point where Emperor form, Dark Kiva, Ixa, Rising Ixa all got made before main Kiva. So we're finally here, and now that we're in Shinkocchou Seihou, it makes me hope they go back and redo all of the other Kiva Figuarts, because they don't quite match anymore. Now, let's start off by talking about the one bad part of Kiva, and that is not even to do with the figure, which is why I'm laughing a little bit. Let's talk about his pre-order bonus. There was a pre-order bonus of a Tamashii Stage Ride Watch base of Kiva. Now this is of course a Tamashii Stage base based off of the Kiva Ride Watch from Kamen Rider Zi-O. Now there is a set of these you can get. There's two different sets, and they contain the different main riders, and it gives you like 3 of them, and then you can put different inserts in them. And you get everybody but Kiva. Kiva was the one that was missing because we didn't have a Figuart of Kiva. So now we got the Kiva. Now the only problem with this, as well as what I found out the others as well, is that this is all you get. You get the base plate with a little paper insert and then this covering on top. And these stands are cool because they can connect together, and I do like the idea of using the ride watches. The problem is that that's all you get. There is no stage arm to connect a figure to. You have to provide that yourself. You can pull this little part back here out like this, and you can put in a Tamashii Stage Act 4 or whatever arm. I don't even know if this is an Act 4. I just have a box of Tamashii Stage parts, but then you have, you know, the proper stage. This is really odd to me, and all the ride watches are like this, including the ones from the reissues plus the sets. So I'm like, why doesn't it come with the arms? It's kind of an important part of the stage, otherwise it's just like a fancy thing to have them stand on. So there's that. This not coming with it, that really sucks, but other than that, it's a cool bonus. It's not going to be included with, you know, later runs. I don't think it'll be included with the North American distribution. I think this is strictly Japanese pre-order bonus thing, but, you know, here we are. So we're going to pull this out of the way because we're kind of done talking about that. So it's a nice little flat box, I got to admit. It goes with the figure. So let's talk about the figure. And we'll just leave that off in the corner. So, of course, here we are. Now, the Shinkocchou Seihou line works wonderfully off of the concept of they're going to be more expensive, but we're putting every single detail and we are putting the proper body proportions. I love the Seihou line. I wish I could buy them all. They are more expensive, and honestly, I'd rather buy these than normal Figuarts these days, because this is what I feel like Figuarts should be as a baseline, instead of where we're at, where it's like they're still kind of cheaping out. Like Kamen Rider Zi-O specifically cheaps out in a lot of areas, so it's always nice to get a Seihou because they just know how, it just seems like they put more work into these, and they don't come out as often, and I understand there's like probably 100 different, you know, reasons by what gets a Seihou and what doesn't, but I really love the Seihous. I bought pretty much the only Figuarts I bought in the last year are Seihous, minus Poppy, so there is that. Now, I think one of the biggest reasons he never had a Figuart before was details like these chains. It's been talked about online, like, why haven't they made Kiva? Maybe it's the chains. Well, the thing is that after they made Garo with his chain on his sword, everyone pretty much figured out, oh, now they can do the chains for Kiva. Well, they are just kind of molded and painted on here. They're not actual chain links, which I don't see as an issue because it looks right. It looks correct in the show suit. I think he used actual chains, but they didn't do actual chains on this, which is fine there. Down here, if you notice, this chain is supposed to sit about here, but because it's a soft material and it doesn't have enough glue points, it kind of just floats up. And I've noticed this on a lot of people's Kivas, so it's something to keep aware of. But I mean, they got the chain wrap around the leg pretty good. It looks accurate, and that's the thing. As long as it looks good, that's what we really care about. I love the segmented eyes on Kamen Riders, especially the Heisei era, and Kiva's look fantastic. Just it's something they've done with Figuarts for a very long time now. But the part that really impressed me was like little paint specks, like little red dot on the bracers on the arms, or the fact that the hands have the black paint on them, or is it red paint? I'm not really sure. But they got the extra detail there. It's all the little details, the way that the gradient works with the red blood line up the arm, where it just, you know, fades away. That's a detail on Kiva's suit that they didn't think they could do in normal Figuarts. So maybe it took till Seihou in order to get something this detailed and this intricate, but I feel like it's really weird that they waited this long. It's been so long since Kiva. But let's take a look at the details of his belt. Now, the belt itself is a little loose, which is probably my only complaint with the figure overall. It needs to be a separate piece so you can have all the torso articulation, but it is super loose, which kind of sucks. But what you notice here is that you can actually pull Kivat off. He's actually included separately in the packaging. But this little Kivat here is so amazing. He's got, you know, the extendable wings, he's got fully painted details on the back, and his mouth opens. So you can have him bite, you can have him talk, you can have him eat the Fwessels. It's pretty amazing. This is a very intricate little piece, and I'm pretty astounded by this. And to top this off, they even include this piece, which can clip to the back of Kivat on the two little pegs there. If you notice, it's a Tamashii stage port, which is why this really should have come with the arm. So you can actually peg this on here. So you got Kivat flying next to Kiva for whatever you need him for, whether you're doing the wake up pose or anything like that. You got him up, you got him supported. That's super duper awesome. This specific Tamashii stage arm has too big of a peg, so watch your peg sizes. I don't know why they changed them so much, but anyway, so that's Kivat. We can put him back on the driver so I don't lose him. He's very, very tiny. And then if you notice on the sides, you have the Fwessels for Garudu, Basha, and Doga, and then the ones for Wake Up, Buran Booster, and I forget what that other one is. I think it's Castle Doran or something. Anyways, so you got the three of them, and much like the Ixa Figuart of past, you can pull these side panels off. They're really hard to get on, so I got them on, and I don't really want to take them off. But unlike Ixa and other Figuarts of the past, well actually let's do this with the Wake Up. You can actually remove each of these. They come separated in the tray in the packaging. But yeah, they actually do come out. But here's the thing too. They're very small. I'm going to pull Garulu because it's got the part I can pull on. So these are really small, and they're really easy to lose. But unlike the wizard, so like the wizard rings are really tiny, and those are the tiniest things we've ever gotten. They're still really detailed. Look at this, they got paint on these. So the wizard details were really tiny on the wizard rings, but they weren't easy to lose because they actually pegged in really tightly. The double Gaia memories fell out like nobody's business, and that really sucked. But luckily for Kiva here, these stay in really well into the side compartments. You can actually line it up with Kivat's mouth. I think it's supposed to peg in. I've not been able to do it properly. But if you want that look of him whistling on the Fwessel, there you go. That's an option. That's pretty amazing. And then to top it off, if you want him posed like maybe doing the wake up or wanting to summon the next one of his monsters, you have a hand that lets you just hold the Fwessel. I'm personally not going to display like this because I already have issues like Decades cards or like said Gaia memories. But yeah, the Gaia memories would fall out from the double driver from just like turning the figure over. But the Fwessels, they stay in place. So they fixed that. That was a big issue. And I'm hoping on, you know, SHF Shinkocchou Seihou O's, they're not going to have issues with the O metals. Because that would suck. Because those I do not like tiny pieces that fall out easily. That terrifies me. Okay, so moving along, we talked about some of the hands. We're just going to kind of go through accessories first. But let's talk about hands. He's got the, you know, Magi Ranger hands, as I like to call them. But the basic, you know, his standard posed hands. And then you also have these pointing hands. He does a lot of pointing as Kiva. So that's really cool. And then, of course, you get an alternate leg. Now, for his rider kick, his wake up attack, he has the chains are broken so that the bat wings come out. And what's cool is it's actually just pulls straight off, no problem. Like, it's a lot thinner than, say, like the Forze module peg, which was this like massive thing. Thing's nice. It's easy. It's easy to get. It's harder to get this one on, but once you get it on, there you got the kick leg. So now you get him into proper Kiva kicking poses, where he's just kind of floating upside down if you want, so you can do his kick. Again, would be nice if the stand actually came with an arm. So you got that going on. That looks fantastic. You can get a lot of nice torso articulation, so you can do his kick properly, which I do really appreciate. And getting it off, it's a little harder to get the bat wing leg off than it is the normal leg, but you can do it, and it just swaps out pretty nice. So pretty cool overall. Now to go with all those hands and accessories, we've got some nice articulation. So he's got 2 neck joints, one above and one below. So you get full range of movement here. To top that off, the actual chest armor on the back can lift up and move around, which is pretty spectacular. This is something that Seihou does that other normal Figuarts don't, which is the movable armor. So you got like this, so if you need him to like pivot or whatever, you got that. Shoulders are full range shoulders, bicep swivel, outward, double jointed. Kiva keeps kicking the camera. He's ready to kick something. And then of course his shoulder pads just work off of all of that. Torso joints, really fantastic. This piece here is a separate little armor piece, so you can get the full crunch forward, which is awesome. This part under here is a rubber. The actual like chest plate was stuck underneath the rubber on mine originally, but you got that side to side, hips forward, back. The back even has a little bit of armor in the back that moves up, and then you've got a thigh swivel, a double jointed knee. The double joint knee, I wish had a little bit more bend. It's a little restricted. And then the ankle, forward, back, left, right, toe joint. So you've got pretty much every bit of articulation you could want from Kiva, and they managed to get all the armor out of the way to make it work, and that's pretty fantastic. So real quick, before we move on to wrapping this up, I do want to kind of show off a couple little comparisons that I had. And that is putting Kiva up against, say, like another Kiva rider. So I have Ixa here. Ixa's in save mode since I have Rising Ixa as well. He's in burst mode, or rising mode, sorry. So Ixa save mode here. So here is your basic scale. You notice that Ixa save mode lost a knee pad. Ixa save mode, he's a lot thinner. He was like a 2010 Figuart, so he's super thin. He's super anime proportions, while Kiva's more of your realistic proportions. Most people aren't really going to worry about that too much. But then also, just for fun, we're going to bring in Kiva, because she was, technically a Kiva writer, because Kivala is Kivat's sister, but she's technically from Decade. This is pretty cool, because, she matches, because she's a more modern Figuart. It's kind of neat to have, like, the two sides of Kiva there, so... before we close out the review, I do want to show off the range of posability that Kiva has, so without further ado, let's do a posing montage. So overall, SH Figuarts Kamen Rider Kiva is fantastic. He's near perfect. I think the only real complaints I have would be maybe the loose belts, the ankles, the way they tilt is kind of weird, so getting him to stand in some positions is hard because he's very top heavy due to design. So that's the only thing I think I can really complain about. Otherwise, he's phenomenal. Every little detail's there, every little piece. Armor plates move out of the way for articulation. He can pull off a lot of iconic poses. And overall, I feel like he was worth the extra money for the Seihou release. The only other complaint I have is just that stand not coming with an arm. It just seems weird. Like, why pack in just a base without some way of connecting a figure? almost seems pointless. But, you know, again, that's a pre-order bonus that's separate from the figure, so at the end of the day, Kiva is basically perfect. The closest to the perfect we're probably going to get with a Kiva Figuart. This is honestly amazing. So, hopefully you enjoyed this review. This was definitely a long wait for Kiva to be released, and I'm glad that he finally happened. And now I'm probably going to go back and watch his show in completion, just because this figure has me so jazzed about the suit design once again. Kiva, Hibiki, and a couple others are like, I haven't watched their shows in full, but I love their suit design so much. Now I'm finally watching Hibiki, so you get back to watching Kiva. But overall, great figure, and absolutely recommended if you can get a hold of it. There is a North American distribution coming up. Some GameStops have open pre-orders for them, so keep an eye out. There might be a chance for you to snag this guy in North America, which would be pretty awesome. So stay tuned for future Kamen Rider reviews. Hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you can keep in the loop of all videos I upload here on this channel. Also hit the like button to give me a like to support the video. Make sure that you tell me that you want more Kamen Rider videos, as I got stuff that I can definitely do videos on. Also be sure to check out Hero Club at hero-club.com for all of your hero news and more. And check out the Soundout Productions graphic artist known as Ryan Darkclaw643 on Twitter at Darkclaw643. I'll link his Twitter in the description, as he has been doing the new logos and graphics for the videos, and he is awesome and deserves all the support. He does commissions for art, so check him out. And that does it for this video, so till next time, this is Soundout saying goodbye.